Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. My name is Eugen and today I will be showing off a hopefully fun fountain pen, the Opus 88 Coloro. A fountain pen that is considered a Japanese eyedropper style pen and also known as a bulk filler, if I didn't get my terms wrong. This is my second Opus 88 fountain pen that I have, and until today I actually did not have the chance to use it. I purchased it from eBay around late summer this year, 2022, and I paid around 90 Canadian dollars and I think another 15 for shipping. Quite excited about trying it out. It has a lot to prove to its bigger brother, the demo version that I have and used before. Since I still have the box, let me go quickly through and reenact the unboxing, and then I will go through the pen's features and impressions as is and, well, received. I received the pen in a fairly simple but extremely large box for what you receive. It has this outer sleeve, which is brownish. Interesting. We don't need that. And then came with another box that has a magnetic door, I guess you could call it. Opens up nicely and reveals the pen and the pipette. Yeah, that's it, nothing else. It's a lot of box for just two things. Compared with the demo pen that I have from Opus 88, this pen is more on the smaller size. It actually even comes with a smaller nib, but in a way it's actually a little bit cuter. My pen came in two colors, green and orange, and the green part of the pen it's actually ebonite. And I love this thing a lot. Every time I touch it and I look at it, I'm thinking that I want an ebonite pen made with just this material. Can I find something like that? Or does anybody sell any pens like that? Anyway, with that aside, going quickly through the fountain pen. The fountain pen is fairly simple, and I like that. It's mostly plastic and, as mentioned, ebonite. Everything that is green, it's ebonite. And the acrylic part or the plastic part, it's semi-translucent. So in other words, you can actually see the piston inside, and you can sort of get a very faint peek at the nib that hides inside the cap. The finials are fairly simple, a little bit domed, less domed on the barrel, and a little bit more pointier on the barrel, which I guess is not really a barrel because this will be the knob for the piston. Actually, as a side note, I guess this won't truly be a piston. This is more like a plug, the knob for the plug. Going back to the cap comes with a clip that it's a little bit on the stiffer side, but definitely usable. And doing my usual shirt test, it's sliding fairly easy, a little bit tough at the beginning, but once it's over the cloth, it slides in pretty nicely. This is what you get when you look at your pocket. Nice view. And removing it. A little bit stiff again, but nothing seems to snags. Underneath, the metal band for the clip seems to be stamped, but it's fairly smooth and nothing snags on it. On the cap, you also have the brand name Opus 88. The cap, it's a twist cap. I am unable to remove it in one move, so this is definitely above 2 turns. And once you remove it, you will be greeted with a fairly short section and a number 5 nib. By the design of it and by the look of it, this seems to be a JoWo nib. However, the name on the nib, it's Opus 88, and in my case, this is an extra fine nib. Unfortunately, personally, I was not able to remove this, so I'm not sure if it's a nib unit. If it's a nib unit, this definitely is pretty much stuck in there. Hopefully once I get to ink it over time, it will loosen itself and I will be able to remove it. Until then, I will assume this is glued in place, at least for my unit. As you can see from the video on the left corner side, the inner cap of the pen is fairly simple. I don't see any inner liners, and I'm not able to see anything that you might be able to remove in order to disconnect the clip. The top finial seems to be glued in place. I'm unable to remove it. Going back to the fountain pen, as mentioned, you have a number 5 nib and feed, most probably from Miovo, with a fairly short section and maybe a little bit slippery. It does flares out towards the nib a quarter way up the section, so I don't think you'll have any issues with your finger slipping on the nib. However, if you grip it gently, it's not that slippery. Then you have the threads, which are not intrusive at all. I don't find them annoying, and another step after the threads, which is very smooth. And then a little bit of bulge and tapers down all the way to the ring before the knob for the plug. I almost forgot my own terms. Now, the role of the plug is basically to control the ink flow, and at the same time, when it's all the way closed, it will stop the ink flow. So the idea is it will make it much more friendly for transporting it, and again for regulating ink flow by opening it a little bit and controlling how much ink you get into the feed or into the section. And this way, hopefully, you avoid any burping issues that regular eyedroppers have. One thing that I forgot to mention, and I'm recording this after I did the inking, the pen size-wise in the hand, it's fairly short. It kind of works for my hand, but I could see it maybe a little bit too small for others. And the knob all the way up and helps a little bit, but not that much. However, the good thing about this Opus 88 Coloro is that it actually posts, and it posts deep enough, and it doesn't engage that knob, and it does make the pen quite a nice size. However, it does make it a little bit top heavy. The balance will be on the actual cap, even inked. So things to consider. Holding it here, it feels a little bit heavy. Holding it here and a little bit higher, it's perfect size. Unposted, the balance actually, it's in the middle. So I guess unposted will make it for a perfect writer if your hand allows it. And I guess this is the fountain pen. Not much to add. Things to mention, since this is ebonite, yes, there is a little bit of rubber smell to this material. So if you don't like that smell, maybe this might not be the pen for you. And the other thing to mention, as is, unfortunately, I don't know why Opus 88 are keep on doing this, but there's absolutely zero silicone grease anywhere. There's no silicone grease here, and you actually fight to open it, and it feels like you're forcing things. And that O-ring definitely, and that those threads will could definitely use some silicone grease. There's no silicone grease on that plunger or plug, which again, as you turn it, it will basically rub itself against this inner lip of the section. And again, if you want to prolong the life of that rubber, adding some silicone grease will definitely be helpful for the pen. As well as, not necessarily on the threads, but on that rod, I would definitely recommend to add some silicone grease as well. So let me do that quickly. I'll speed up through it, and then I will go through the filling process. Alright, now that things a little bit much smoother on that piston knob and the way the barrel threads on the section, I'm gonna go through the inking section. And for today's drawing, I am planning to go back to my old friend, Platinum Carbon ink. It's been a while since I have used this ink. I've been missing it a little bit, and for today's drawing, I thought it was a good opportunity to go back to it. You'll definitely need one of these. Remove cap. Remove barrel. Open the knob, but only all the way until it's completely open. The idea is that you want that plug to be a little bit lower in the barrel. Take your pipette. Oh, this is a nice pipette. And slowly add ink inside the pen. And make sure you fill it all the way where the threads start. Don't go past that. Then put the section back in. Turn the pen in the proper way. Leave the knob open for a while, so this way ink flows into the section and into the feed. Put the cap on and wait for a couple of minutes. And going through a quick writing sample, usually you don't have to wait that long, 30 seconds to 60 seconds, usually it's enough. Let me see if I have ink in the nib already. Yeah, perfect. Ink, it's already flowing nicely. So this is the Opus 88 Coloro fountain pen. The nib is actually really nice. It feels stiff, but nice. Reverse, it's kind of scratchy. I'm not sure if I'll be able to use it. It's really scratchy. Yeah, not really usable for drawing. I like the nib. The pen feels very light, like really light. Posted works, and it does bring a little bit balance on the pen. So I have a feeling I will probably prefer this pen mostly posted. And that nib is very chatty. I'm not sure if the mic picks it up. But has no problem with flow. Works very well. For today's drawing, I was thinking to draw. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't really prepare anything. I was kind of drawing a blank. I wasn't exactly sure what I want to draw. And since it's the first time using an Opus 88 in my videos, I didn't really have a theme set up so I can go to it and rescue from myself. So I guess the new theme for today is no theme. So today will be some hand-free drawing. I guess people call it doodling. For me, it's called just drawing swirls on the page until maybe you get something out of it. I'll be honest, I'm pretty bad at drawing things without thinking. Eventually, I start thinking about things as soon as I see some shapes on the page. So I'll start drawing some lines and hopefully I'll evolve from there into something nice to look at. So here's hope and praying. I usually say that I have no idea how it's going to turn out. This time I mean it. So I guess I'll start doing the drawing, and I'll let you know my conclusions on this pen after using it, and hopefully I'll have something to show afterwards. I did say that I have no idea what I'm going to end up with, right? Good, because a day later I still have no clue what I draw in there. I guess I need to practice more on this subject, so apologize ahead of time. I think I will try and keep on doing this until the end of the year. Random doodles, I guess, and who knows, maybe eventually I'll get something that I'm satisfied with it, or at least more satisfied with, and maybe I'll try and not make things as dark. The end result, I think I guess I would call it interesting, just I have no idea what it means. Going back to the fountain pen, it worked pretty good for the most part. There were a few issues with ink flow a couple of times, but overall it was okay. It's definitely a pen that personally I would rather use Post-it than not. I'm not sure if the ink flow was an ink issue, the carbon ink not playing nice with that nib and feed setup. I don't know, I will try another ink as soon as I empty the pen, and hopefully that will work out a little bit better. What do I like about the Opus 88 Coloro? Well, first thing that comes to mind is cute. And I really like that green dusty ebonite. I was serious when I said I want a full ebonite pen in that material. It's really nice. And overall the pen is light, maybe too light for me actually. That's actually the main reason I like it Post-it. It brings a little bit more weight on the pen. But if you like a light pen, this is a great little thing. The other thing that I like, it's a bulk filler and can hold tons of ink and is giving you the opportunity to control the flow and as such combat those pesky burps. I guess this pen is as close as you can get to a modern safety pen without being a safety pen. Oh, and one additional thing that I really like about this pen, it's the number 5 nib it came with. Unfortunately, I did not show this during the writing sample. I discovered it after, and I don't know if this is a fluke or that is the nature of this nib, especially as extra fine. But this little sucker can flex. I did a quick recording after I discovered that, and I am showing it here in the left corner. I'm really impressed by the nib. I like it. It's what I would call an actual semi-flex number 5 nib. I think this is the only number 5 nib that I have that flexes this well. Things that I don't like as much on the Opus 88 Coloro, well, as mentioned a little bit earlier, the thing that got me kind of bumped with this pen a little is that it had some flow issues even during the drawing. With the plug open all the way, from time to time it actually ran out of ink, which is really odd. And I had to shake it and, well, do strokes on a page until ink started flowing again. It happened to me about 6 or 7 times during the drawing. And another thing that I noticed is that the next day when I tried and used it, the nib was dry. And yes, the plug was opened. It's odd, not sure what to say. Again, not sure if it's because of the ink, even though I don't see why it would do that. The demo version never gave me this kind of grief with same ink. But then again, the demo does have a number 6 nib. That might be the difference. I'll give it another clean and try again to remove the nib unit if it's not glued, and do a more serious cleaning on the feed. Maybe there is some debris caught in there. Other than that, I really have no issues with the pen. The only other thing I would see as an issue and somebody else get annoyed with, the fact that unposted the pen is too short maybe, and when posted it's kind of top heavy a little, well, depending on your hand position. And lastly, if you do not like the smell of rubber, you might not like this pen. The ebonite does smell a little, not a strong smell, but definitely present. As an example, my wife is not fond of the rubber smell, and when she held it in her hands, she was able to feel the smell, and she wasn't really that impressed with it. Overall, I almost like it. If I find the issue with the ink flow and fix it, it will move a little bit higher on my like chart. But as is, as a recommendation for others, I would say yes. but make sure you can check ink flow on it before committing to it, or be able to return it if you have any issues. If by any means I have missed anything or you have any other questions, please leave a comment below and I will try and get to it as soon as I can. Please feel free to also leave a comment if you want to share your own experience. We all have different experiences and it'll be nice to hear what other things of this pen. My experience might be different than yours, and that's okay. With that said, I thank you for joining me today and I hope I will catch you next time. Wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Take care. Bye.